Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the end of the year book tag. I will link the original creator down below. I think it was Ariel who started this, but there's a lot of questions added on that I've seen Destiny do, as well as Rachel Catherine and a whole lot of other people. So if you're interested, I will have it linked down below. I will also have a playlist linked down below of the previous end of the year book tags that I did. I know it's not the end of the year. It is close to the end of the year actually. Oh my word. Okay, with my existential crisis out of the way, we have 2 months until the end of the year, and I think this is a perfect time to just reflect on how the year has been going. What books have I read? Which did I love? Which did I hate? What quotes did I love? Which has the greatest cover or the prettiest cover to me, obviously, because it's subjective. And yeah, if you want to participate in this, you have a YouTube channel or you just want to do this for fun, consider yourself tagged, basically. And please remember to like and subscribe as well. That helps me immensely. And let's just jump right into the video. So the first question is the most disappointing read of the year. I'm gonna have two on the list. Unfortunately, the one is an ebook and the other one I've already packed away to give it away or to sell it, so I'm not gonna rummage through a whole lot of boxes just to show you. The first book would be Dog is the Word. I recently read this one and the idea sounds amazing. Beauty and the Beast / Red Riding Hood meets dragons. You know, that just intrigues me so much. And the story behind it was so good, but the execution of it was horrible. There's a 1,000-year-old dragon who has this idea that he needs to marry a witch and he will force her to fall in love no matter the costs. And I'm like, okay, but no. In the same breath, the main character also is trying to save her brother, but she doesn't think about the progress she's going to make. She just dives headfirst into everything, and I'm just like, I feel like there was miscommunication along the way, and not as the miscommunication trope, it's just that she was stupid. And for 50% of the book, she argues with the male main character to try and send her back to her hometown, even though she knows she can't go back. And the other 50% of it is her being madly, deeply in love with him. And I'm like, where did these feelings come from? Good idea, bad execution. You know? And the next one is The Vanishing Half. This is subjective, it's my opinion. Obviously, but I have come to realize after finishing this book that I am not like a generational fiction kind of reader. I didn't like the story. There's a lot going on, but there's not a lot of consequences going on in the story, and I didn't enjoy this book as much as I wanted it to. It was a 2.5, rounded up to a 3 on Goodreads, and I was just like, couldn't care. Immediately after finishing it, I put that book in my selling pile. I think that's all I can say, is just no. Then we get to my favorite question of the year, which is the Underdog book of the year. I have so many. Some of these are indie authors, so obviously they're going to be the underdogs, but I just feel like they need more praise because they are just amazing books, obviously. The first one is A Fallen Sword by Kevin Herning. If you have seen some of my previous vlogs, like in the beginning of the year, you would see that I ranted and raved about this book so much. It is such a great book. The concept of it is also amazing. It's kind of like a D&D story, or Dungeons and Dragons if you are not familiar with the term, but it was also written using Dungeons and Dragon die. If you're interested in it, you can go look over at Kevin Herning's page. She will describe that every choice that the character had to make, she had to use D&D die, and she rolled it to try and figure out in which direction it went. And it is a kind of quest story, so the characters go on a quest to try and save the world, and it is just so enjoyable. I struggled, yes, to get into this book, but only because I had like a million other things that I want to read as well, so I put that book on the back burner, and I'm quite upset that I did, because I think it would have been like one of my favorites last year. But now it's a favorite this year, so, you know. The next one is Medici Heist by Caitlin Scheidenhorn. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. If you loved Six of Crows, you will like this. This is centered around the 1500s. It's about the Medici family. It's about the Pope and how the Pope essentially stole money from the people in Florence and how these group of characters are trying to raid or conduct a heist of the Medici family so that they can give the money back to the people of Florence. It really just gives the vibes of Six of Crows. The next one is Daughter of the Drowned Empire by Frankie Diane Mills, and I love this book. If you're a romantasy girl, you like enemies to lovers, you like a combination between Greek and Roman slash, I believe it's also Egyptian inspired. I can't remember. But this is definitely a book to pick up. This world has magic, it has training, it has found family. It just has a lot of the elements that I really do love in a romantasy book. Just check it out. It's interesting. There's also lore behind it, which is kind of complicated, but you'll get to it eventually. The next question is a book that you feel was overhyped. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna either unsubscribe or hate me for this, but personally, I believe the Divine Rivals as well as Ruthless Vows was overhyped. I didn't enjoy the books as much. I felt very underwhelmed by not the execution of it, but the things that were happening in the book, and I was just like, okay. I love the story behind it and the descriptions of everything. The descriptions are beautiful, and I think that's what bumped the story up to a 3-star for me. The War of the Gods was the issue for me. It was backstage basically in the first book, and then it was center stage in the second book, and I was just like, okay, I don't actually care, so it is what it is. And I'm sorry for everyone who loved it. I'm happy for you that you loved that book, but I just couldn't find a liking. Who is your favorite book couple? I obviously have more than one because I have no self-control. The first one would be Rune and Lydia in the Crescent City series. They went through a rough patch, but the ending of their story quite cute. And then obviously Daphne and Miles from Funny Story. If you've read that book, you would know these two are just so cute together. Justin and Emma from Just for the Summer. I love Justin. I really love Justin. He had this kind of cute way of doing things that I was just like, I love this so much, and how he acted towards Emma throughout the story, it's just so beautiful. And then another romantic couple that I really love is Ruin and Gideon from the Crimson Moth or the Heartless Hunter book. I love their banter, and I love the way they acted towards one another. Not in the end, but when they finally realize that they like each other, that's when I like them. The next question is your favorite main character. I don't really have a favorite main character. If I give a book a 5-star, then that character is my favorite. No questions asked or anything. I don't have a specific character where I'll be like, okay, I'm attached to you now, so I'm going to like you for it. I go with the flow, basically. Question number 6 is a book that surprised you. The first one I would say is Across Dark Seas by Claire Sager. This is a pirate story, or it's a novella before the Beneath Black Sails series, and I have always been looking for like a piratey story and a story where the female main character is basically a pirate, and lo and behold, if I read the series sooner, I would have loved it even more. But yeah, I just really enjoyed this book. Also, Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I was scared to pick this book up because I know a lot of people say it's not the same as Ali Hazelwood's book. Obviously, the thought process is the same, but the setup of it and the character growth and everything is vastly different from what we are used to. Both come from very strange backgrounds, very harsh backgrounds, and the story progress throughout was not something I expect, but in a good way. And then another book that surprised me, obviously this book is going to be mentioned a lot in this video, but it is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. You know when you pick up a book and you think, okay, I know, I kind of have an idea in which direction this is going, or you have a set idea in which direction the book is going, and then the book goes, hold my beer. This is basically what Quicksilver did, and I really love this book. The next question is new favorite author. The first one would be Abby Jimenez, and the second is obviously Emily Henry. I started reading her books this year and I really love them, especially Happy Place, and of course Funny Story, and obviously Callie Hart. I told you she's going to be mentioned, or her book's going to be mentioned a lot, so brace yourself. The next question is the happiest read of the year, and I'm assuming it's the book that gave you like just happy feels, because what else would it be? The first one is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, then it is A Funny Story by Emily Henry, as well as Crimson Moth or Heartless Hunter, depending on which side of the world you are on, and Quicksilver, surprise, surprise. Most frustrating book of the year. I'm not gonna talk a lot about it because I've said a lot about it anyway, but it is Frostbite by Rishami. This book was horrible. You get YA and then you get this book, and no, just no. It's the best adaptation. I don't watch a lot of movies. This is something that really grinds my husband's gears as well, because I won't watch a movie. I'll watch a series and I'll read, but I won't watch movies. And a lot of YouTube, obviously. So to say that I've watched an adaptation and I liked it because it was based on the book, I'll lie to you and say, for example, this one would be my favorite. It's not. Let's put it into perspective. The last movie I saw was 2 months ago or a month ago, and it was Transformers, and it was the old movie. And that's just because my husband put it on and I was sitting next to him and I was like, oh, okay, let's watch it. The next question is the longest book you've read. That would be House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. I have it up here, but like it's too hot, I'm not gonna pick it up. Here's a photo for you. For those of you who haven't seen the book cover, this is how it looks like. This book was 835 around their pages. Goodreads does say, what do you call it? Game of Thrones was the longest, but I disagree because Game of Thrones ends at around 750, and then it's the long family trees and stuff. I don't read the family trees, so I'm gonna say it is House of Flame and Shadow. The shortest book you read, this is a novella by an indie author called Ribbon Knight, and the book is Flower of Song and Silver. This is part of one of their series, which I forgot because I haven't read that in a long time. But yeah, this is part of the series. The next question is your favorite book cover. I have a lot. Obviously, Medici Heist, The Heartless Hunter, not the Crimson Moth. I love the Heartless Hunter cover better. Quicksilver, obviously. Yeah, I think that's that. There's not a lot of covers that I like, but when I do, you bet your sweet betune I'm gonna be obsessed about it. Oh, and obviously A Fallen Sword, because it looks, it just looks cool. The book you haven't stopped thinking about, the first one will be obviously Quicksilver. Probably because I just finished reading it, so it's still on the back of my mind, and I'm like, I want to reread it, or I need something to wipe my brain so that I can read it from the beginning. And then also the Crimson Moth / Heartless Hunter. I'm just gonna start calling it the Crimson Moth. You know, you're gonna know which one I'm referring to. And also just for the summer, because that book just gave me so many feels. I actually almost cried because of that book. Just the things that Justin and Emma went through was like the hot. The next question is the cringiest book you've read. The Lost Feather and The Eternal Shadow. They should also probably go to the disappointed read. It's not that I was disappointed in reading them, because I didn't have a lot of expectation for these books. I don't know, the dialogue between the main character and her best friend was I don't know how to say. You know when you have a very good friend and he has a crush on you, and you know he has a crush on you and you don't like him back, and then he makes these under the belt comments and you're just like, I don't know how to diffuse the situation, so I'm just gonna smile. That's how the book feels like, and I hate it. The next is Unpopular Book That You Love. For those of you who've been on my booktube journey for a long time, you would know that I love Nisha J. Chili's Nightfire Quartet. These books just fall under that. I read A Dance of Stars and Ashes in the beginning of the year, which is the second book in the series, and adored it. And I recently just finished Storm of Ink and Blood, which I also adored. Unfortunately, I was in a reading slump, not because of this book, but while reading this book. So it was kind of like me forcing myself to read through everything, and I was just like, I need to get to the end. I'm sure if I read it again, I would love it, because things happen at the end and I was just like, whoa. And I think these books deserve more hype, because it's also a romantasy. If you love romantasy, if you love dragons, if you love vampires, pick them up. The next question is the highest and lowest books on Goodreads, and if you agree. I was struggling with this question because I was like, what? But basically, if you've rated a book 5 stars, what is the average rating? And the book that I see has the lowest rated, which I gave 5 stars, was The Atlas Complex. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I know Olivia Blake is very hit or miss for a lot of people, but the average rating for this book is 2.98. That is low. That is very low. And then the highest rated book, which I think I also rated like 4 stars, is Pretty Average by Urini Vlotman. This is a South African author, and I know indie authors usually have like higher ratings because they have like a lower, how can I say, less people read the books, so the rating is going to be lower. And I was going to go with the next one, which is A Court of Mist and Fury, but obviously that one is the highest rated. And Kingdom of Ash. I don't know what my lowest rated book is. I think it's hold on, let me see. My lowest rated book was For a Divergent Collection that I rated, I think, 2 stars, and the average is 3.95, and I was just like, I don't agree, but mostly because I really didn't enjoy 4 as much as I thought I would. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I was deeply invested in the series when I was like 16, not now. Favorite quotes of the year, and buckle up because I have a few. The first ones would be from Zodiac Academy, which I think Tori told the professor, because the professor said, oh, you very shy, and Tori says, I'm not shy, you're just so far beyond my personal boundaries right now, I can't even see them anymore. Because she kept backing away. The next one was, I think, Darcy, close to the end, where she asked, what's the worst that can happen in a library anyway? And then she said, tell that to the guy who was killed by Colonel Mustard with the candlestick. The next ones are from Foxglove. I can't remember who said this, but it's basically that touch her and you die kind of situation, and it said, lay another finger on her and it will be the last thing you ever do. And then I think it was Blythe who said, I've never cared for poetry, it's too pretentious. I felt that in my soul because I'm not a poetry girly. I don't like it. Fate said this. He said, they say that all is fair in love and war. I have built my trench and brought my rifles, and I have no intention of retreating. I will pursue you until you remember who you are. If that means I need to court you, signo faro, I will. Flowers, promenades, even poetry, if that's what you want. Whatever it is you enjoy, I will learn, and eventually you remember the life you once had. And I was like, okay, sir. The next one is A Serpent and the Wings of Night. I really enjoyed this one. This hurts so deep in my soul. It was close to the end. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but the main character said this. I hate you. I spat at rain. His fingers brushed my face. Little wisps of shadows trailed them. Darkness, sleep, too powerful for me to fight. The last thing I heard was Rain's whisper of, there she is. And I was like, death upon death. That really hurts. If you know the journey they went on. And then that happened. Okay, I can't remember what happened here, but I think it was Thoris, and she was just like, a bark of laughter ripped out of me. And they said guardians had no sense of humor. This one was a comedian. I think this was Fisher, who said, I never met a rule I didn't want to break, sunshine. Oh, you know who I think that was? I think it was, yeah, it was Carrion. The best one was when we were introduced to Kingfisher, and Soris was walking with Everlane and someone else through the corridors, and they have like these 7 gods stacked through each corridor, and Kingfisher was walking ahead of them, and she said Kingfisher stuck out a hand and flipped all 7 of them off as he stormed by. And I can just imagine this man going, this one killed me. Well, it seemed even the immortal Fae was still susceptible to family drama. Like, you think they good, they will always like keep up appearances. Nah, they've got drama, just like your average Joe. Fisher trying to sell Carrion, that was hilarious. Oh, this one, I was wrong, you know, you are a good thief. What have I stolen? But he smiled, a small sad smile, slowly shaking his head. Sleep a little, the water will stay warm. Carrion, I think, who was this? I think it was Ren who said this to him. He was like, I could kiss you, Carrion Swift, and Carrion seemed taken aback by this, and then somewhat interested. I can just, after thinking for a second, he said, I wouldn't be opposed, but maybe later. First, Soris has work to do, and I plan on giving her a hand. It's hilarious. Oh, I just love this book so much. I think I'm gonna reread it. Okay, but that's not the point. I think I bored half of you with all those quotes, so I'm so sorry. The next one is book with a unique concept. Definitely Fallen Sword. I've spoken about this. D&D, based on D&D die. It's all around a good concept. The next question is books that you would reread. Okay, I list them. Quicksilver, anything from the Crescent City series, well, all of them actually. Daughter of the Drowned Empire, Funny Story, Just for the Summer, and The Crimson Book. Reading goal reflection and your 2024 goals. So I set my goal for 85 books to read this year, mostly because I ended up reading 85 books the year before, so I just decided, hey, I can reach it and then I'll just put it up there. I've surpassed it and have now read 117 books, so, you know. Maybe I'll do 120 for next year. I don't know, we'll see. And then the last question is, what are you prioritizing in 2025? Series. I have a lot of series that I need through. I will be doing a video to just give you a rundown of all the series that I'm busy with, which I DNF'd, which I decided to continue with, but that will be probably next week. I have the tendency to pick up a series and then be like, nah, I don't want to continue with the rest, because why not binge read a series? Something that's frowned upon apparently. And then I just don't continue with it, and then I'm upset because a year later I only pick up the rest and then I kind of forget what's happening and stop thinking that reading is a competition. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am going to be returning to my fan again because I am boiling. I'm also going to be tying up my hair now, and I'll see you guys in a video next week, or actually Friday, whichever. If you like vlogs, remember Friday is coming up. Also, if you like shorts, I have one scheduled for Wednesday as well, so anywho. I'll see you guys. Bye.